A Nightmare to Remember. The young shochet sat up in bed, trembling. He had awakened from a nightmare that seemed so real. He found it hard to separate dream from reality. Reb Aaron was a pious, dedicated man, whose credentials as a shochet were impeccable, and whose ways were righteous. Yet in his dream, he appeared as a callous and uncaring man. Beads of perspiration ran down his face as he tried to reconstruct and interpret his nightmare. In his dream, he was already in Olam Haba, the world to come, where the celestial angels debated what punishment to give him. The prosecuting angel presented the facts. He began, "One Friday afternoon, Reb Aaron left the slaughterhouse and was on his way to the mikveh, when a widow approached him and said, 'Reb Aaron, please, shech this chicken for me.' 'I can't right now,' replied Reb Aaron. 'It's too close to Shabbos and I must go to the mikveh.' 'I know it's late,' the lady pleaded, 'but the man in the market would not sell me a chicken for the little money I had. But just before he closed his shop, he gave me this one. Now my children can have meat for Shabbos if you will slaughter it for me.' 'I can't,' said Reb Aaron tersely. 'It's too close to Shabbos for me to go back to the slaughterhouse and then go to the mikveh too. Find someone else.' As he hurried away, he heard her cry out, 'But I can't! Everyone has gone home! Reb Aaron, please!' The prosecuting angel was furious and said angrily, 'For this insensitivity to the widow and her family, Reb Aaron should be given one of two punishments, either 30 days in Gehinnom or a return to the world below.' No arguments from the defending angels could help his cause, and Reb Aaron had to choose his punishment. He chose 30 days in Gehinnom. At this point, he awoke. Sitting up now, he tried to think back over the years during which he had been a shochet. Had he ever been insensitive? Had a widow indeed approached him on a Friday afternoon? As hard as he tried to recall the past, he could not remember such an incident. He sought the counsel of numerous rabbonim, and each one told him that in every dream there's some nonsense, and they advised him to put the whole matter out of his mind. After a while, he did forget it. More than 20 years later, on a late Friday afternoon, Reb Aaron was on his way to the mikveh. The now elderly shochet was running as quickly as his weary legs would take him. Suddenly, a woman approached him. It was a poor widow who had just been able to purchase a chicken for Shabbos at a reduced price. She asked him if he would please shech the chicken for her. 'I can't,' he replied. 'It's very late and I have to be on my way.' The woman begged him, explaining that it would be the only meat that she would have for Shabbos, but he refused. Distraught, the widow went home, knowing that she would have only challah and a little fish for her family for Shabbos. Without giving the incident another thought, Reb Aaron went to the mikveh, got dressed for Shabbos, and went to shul. As he was reciting Kiddush in his home that Friday night, he suddenly stopped. His face turned ashen white, and his hand began to tremble so violently that the wine spilled. Slowly, he sank into his chair in despair. 20 years ago, he had dreamt this scene. Gathering up meat and chicken from his own Shabbos table, he ran from the house and made his way to the home of the widow. He pleaded with her to forgive him, and he presented her with enough meat for her and her family. She accepted it gratefully, thanked him kindly, and excused herself for having troubled him. When he returned home, Reb Aaron told his stunned family the entire story. The next night, after reciting Havdalah, Reb Aaron passed away. Because he had been a tzaddik, Reb Aaron had been forewarned by a dream 20 years earlier, and he reacted just in time.